Good evening, everyone. I want to call this regular session of the Columbia County Board of Education to order and welcome everyone who's present this evening. On behalf of the board and Superintendent Flint, we appreciate your presence and involvement with our school district. Our regularly scheduled board meetings are a time for the Board of Education, the superintendent, and selected staff to conduct important business of the school district within a transparent and public format. To ensure that our meetings go smoothly, professionally, and efficiently, we ask everyone to maintain an appropriate level of decorum at all times. Please abstain from any conduct that would be disruptive or disrespectful. If at any time we are unable to maintain order or proper meeting protocol, we may recess and/or remove individuals unable to follow these requirements. We ask our students, families, and those who have joined us this evening to celebrate special recognitions and/or recommendations to remain until all acknowledgments and board comments have been made. Thereafter, we'll take a short break and dismiss those participating in this portion of the meeting. At this time, please silence your cell phones or any other communication devices. Again, thank you for attending this evening. We look forward to a great meeting. At this time, I'd like to call upon Sharon Baptist Church Pastor Andy Collins to lead us into an invocation. Welcome, Pastor.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this opportunity. God, I thank you for these board members that are before me. God, you tell us in your word that you've appointed leaders. And so, God, I thank you that by your grace, God, you've given each one of them a position. God, I thank you for the superintendent and, God, those that you have placed around him. God, I pray that you will direct their steps and, God, that you will give them wisdom. God, I thank you for every administrator and every teacher and every member of staff around the schools. God, I thank you for their work that's been diligent throughout this year. God, as they finish this year, God, I pray that you give them the strength to finish strong. God, I pray that you're exalted through it all. God, that you're exalted through the way that teachers and administrators minister to students. God, I pray that you're exalted through the compassion that they show toward them each and every day. God, I pray that you're exalted through the curriculum, God, that you may be glorified. God, I pray for a hedge of protection to be placed around our schools. God, will you please just guard those students? God, you have a special place in your heart for young people. God, we see that in your word. God, your son Jesus invited children into his lap, and then he used them to illustrate the kingdom of heaven. And so, God, we thank you that you love young people. God, we thank you that you use them for your glory. And so, Lord, we thank you for this school system, and we just ask your blessings over it. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Next, we are honored to have the 4-H presidents from Blue Ridge Elementary School here to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If our 4-H presidents could come to the front, I'd like to introduce you. If you'll turn and face our audience, and if you have family members here, if they would stand when your student's name is called. Hazra Bey, just take a step forward if I call your name. Oliver Liebig, Layla Sewell, and Vihar Shah. Give these presidents a big hand. Yay. As our presidents turn to face the flag, if everyone will stand. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, that passes unanimously. Next, I'll turn it over to Superintendent Flint for special recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members, and welcome everybody. We're glad you're here. We're honored that you're joining us so we can celebrate with you tonight, and we have quite a number of celebrations. We have so many, we even have some out in the hall waiting for the second round. So thank you for being here. I'm going to ask Dr. Carroll to come up and help assist with the presentations, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about your accomplishments and giving you your awards. So thank you for being here this evening, Dr. Carroll.
Good evening. Thanks again to all of you for being here this evening for these special recognitions. To all of our students and advisors being recognized tonight, please come forward when you are called and remain until a photo is taken. And any family members that are here to support these students, please stand and be recognized as well. We're excited to open our special recognitions this evening with an important partnership we have with one of our local credit unions. In 2018, SRP Federal Credit Union launched the Affinity High School Debit Card Program with Columbia County High Schools. This program was designed to be able to provide an additional funding resource for local high schools. Each high school worked with SRP to develop co-branded debit card designs that is unique to their own high school. Each time an SRP customer makes a transaction with their school-branded debit card, SRP makes a monetary donation to that school. SRP has a strong commitment to the local community and believes that giving back to the schools is an excellent way to demonstrate this commitment. Representatives from SRP Federal Credit Union, please come forward when your name is called. Blake Wood, he's the branch manager of our Davis Road location. Sherconda Lloyd, branch manager of the North Bel Air location. Melanie Green Davis, the branch manager of the Grovetown location. And Yvonne Meeks, Community Development Representative. If we have any others joining us tonight from SRP, please come forward. Thank you. And the check amount is in the amount of $62,599,075.
Amazing.
I said that wrong.
Great job, yes. You heard that right, Judy.
Thank you for your partnership with our school district, the students, and their families, SRP. Our next recognitions for the evening go to the Georgia High School Association's Boys Basketball State Championship runner-ups. For the first time since 1969, the Harlem High School boys basketball team has taken us on a journey that the Bulldog community will never forget. Under the leadership of Coach Jeff Williams, these young men prove that the grit and heart can bridge a 57-year gap. From the high-stakes pressure of the Elite Eight to the intensity of the Final Four, this team climbed every mountain put in front of them. While they found a grueling battle in the state championship against Cross Creek in Macon, Georgia on March 11, 2026, and finished as the state runner-up, their impact goes far beyond the scoreboard. Harlem Bulldogs, please come forward when I call your name. Jensen Anderson, Justin Beckham, Chad Couch, Jaden Futrell, he's all-region first team. Christian Gandy. Darian Hatcher, all-region honorable mention. Tayshawn Ivy. David Johnson. Christian March. Nolan Minson. Christian Murphy. Javon Napier, all-region second team. Jontavius Poe. Dejon Sanders, All-Region Honorable Mention. Ty Shine, All-Region First Team. AJ Williams, All-Region Player of the Year and All-Defensive Team for AJ Williams, Jr. And our head coach, Jeff Williams. Assistant coaches, Rashad Lee. Charlie Walker. Will Wheeler. And Jeffrey Wilson. Their athletic director is Rodney Holder. He's not here with us this evening. And of course, Principal Casey Dees.
Who's the captain? Who's directing? I love it. Hey, stand on your toes.
Congratulations, Harlem Bulldogs, on your GHSA Boys Basketball Team Championship. Our next recognitions for this evening go to the Georgia 12th Congressional District winners for the Congressional App Challenge. Our next group of students from Lakeside High School are winners of Representative Rick Allen's 2026 Congressional App Challenge in Georgia's 12th District. It should also be noted that this group of students did not have an advisor. They all entered this challenge on their own. Students, when your name is called, please come forward to be recognized. Parents and family members, please stand when your student's name is called. Zaysiria Lakamseti. Arnav Patel. And Mingzhu Zhang. Along with Principal Juliet King. Congratulations to these students on their achievements. Our next recognitions for the evening go to the Georgia Department of Education Georgia Scholars. The Georgia Department of Education is recognizing 162 graduating seniors across Georgia as 2026 Georgia Scholars. The Godot identifies and honors high school seniors who have achieved excellence in school and community life through the Georgia Scholar Program. Each honoree will receive a seal for their diploma. Georgia Scholars carried exemplary course loads during their 4 years of high school, performed well in all courses, successfully participated in interscholastic events, and assumed leadership roles sponsored by their schools. Students, when your name is called, please come forward to be recognized. And of course, parents and family members, please stand when your student's name is called. From Harlem High School, we have Ruben Vasquez Sanchez. And Principal Casey Dees. From Lakeside High School, are you taking a picture? I think she's gonna wait. We'll do the picture. Come on. From Lakeside High School, we have Ibrahim Hussan. Emily Zhu. And Principal Juliet King. Good. Congratulations to our students. Next, we will recognize our Columbia County School District Aspiring Leaders Academy graduates for the 25-26 school year. This program is designed for teachers that are aspiring to move into the school-level assistant principal position. District teachers across all 3 levels are selected by the building principals and screened for participation in a year-long course that assists them in preparing for assistant principal roles. Selected participants take part in monthly classes where expert presentations are conducted by district and school leadership personnel that focus on a variety of leadership topics. Roundtable discussions provide opportunities for participants to think critically, analyze, and apply the focused topic. Outside of class, application of knowledge and skills learned during the course provide real-life opportunities and collaborative conversations with their peers to assist them in thinking through critical aspects as they develop their leadership skills. A 24-hour job-embedded clinical experience where they shadow current assistant principals from different school levels allows them to experience the job firsthand. Participants also attend a regular board meeting, a work session, and the initial budget meeting. The course culminates with a district screening for the assistant principal candidate pool. Graduates, please come forward when I call your name. Erin Bagwell from North Harlem. Amber Bentley from Greenbrier High. Rebecca Blumenthal from Martinez Elementary. Robert Cox from Grovetown High. Sarah Greeniker from River Ridge Elementary. Elizabeth Hemphill from Blue Ridge Elementary. Brian Metz from Harlem High School. Jenny Metz from Grovetown Middle School. Sherry Miller from Greenbrier High. Amy Mulvihill from Westmont Elementary. Alicia Rogers from Evans Elementary. Alyssa Rogers from Evans High School. Marie Spearing from Harlem Middle School. Lexi Tanner from Martinez Elementary. Britton Terrell from Stevens Creek Elementary. Susan Wiggs from Evans High School. Sunny Bradford from Evans Elementary. Erica Wilson from Grovetown Middle. And our instructors were Dr. Brian Campbell. I can get Dr. Campbell. And myself. What do you got? This concludes our special recognitions for the evening. I'll now turn it back over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Carroll. On behalf of the board, I want to congratulate all of our students and as well as our aspiring leaders. Our board, maybe one or two of our board members would like to elaborate.
We're very proud of everyone. For sure, SRP, y'all are welcome to come back every board meeting.
With a check.
Anytime. You have an open invitation. Feel free.
Check or no check.
We definitely appreciate all that you do, and thank you very much. As far as our students and their accomplishments go, we could not be prouder. Thank you all very much. Parents, teachers who support those students, thank you for making certain that they get where they need to be, when they need to be there, the long hours, after class, before class. We appreciate all that you do. There are just so many reasons that we are blessed, and we are very grateful. Aspiring leaders, we expect to see you all frequently as you're moving up and on, and continue to contribute in all that you do for our school district, and we're very grateful. We are blessed. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, 4-Hers.
Yeah, thank you for it.
Great job, everyone.
We're honored to have you. So at this time, we have another group we would also like to recognize. So at this time, if our students and our guests are interested in leaving the meeting and exiting quietly and quickly to your right, thank you so much.
Hand me that. Hand.
Off. It's like you can't turn it off till it turns on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's come to order. I want to thank everyone for your patience. We had a great invocation and pledge from our 4-Hers and recognized some wonderful students and the Federal Credit Union. At this time, we have some more great recognitions and recommendations that we are excited to hear from our superintendent. So I'll turn it back over to him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and board members, and thank you all for joining us this evening. This portion of the meeting is devoted to recommending to the board, but also celebrating our recommendation for candidates to leadership positions in the school district. We know intimately that the teacher in the classroom is the most important as far as student achievement in that classroom. But they could not do that without the leadership in this school district. And it takes a lot of time and effort, and we really are encouraging people as they're very strong teachers as they move through their career to consider leadership. And these people have stepped up to this position, and we congratulate them today. And what we're going to do is take a minute to present these individuals to the board. I'll ask them to come forward. When I ask them to come forward, if their family and other people that are here to celebrate them, if you could stand so we could see y'all. I'll tell a little bit about the candidate, and then I'll make the recommendation to the board, and then we'll move on to the next candidate. So again, congratulations, everybody, and we're looking forward to your leadership in this district. For our first recommendation, I'd like to call forward our candidate for the Greenbrier High School principal position, Mr. and just about Dr. I think you're going to be graduating in just a few weeks here, Michael Allen Jones, Jr. You finished your dissertation, so I'm just going to call you doctor. How about that? Dr. Jones holds a Bachelor of Science in Education from University of Georgia, a Master's in Foundations of Education from Troy University, and an Educational Specialist in Educational Leadership from Georgia College and State University. Mr. Jones is currently finishing his doctorate in Educational Leadership from Georgia Southern University and looking forward to graduating in May. He began his teaching at Greenbrier High School in 2005, where he taught algebra. He was also the assistant varsity coach for football, baseball, and head junior varsity baseball coach. In 2006, Mr. Jones accepted a position at North Augusta High School as a math teacher and was their assistant football and head coach for the junior varsity. He was also named the Georgia Athletic Assistant Coach of the Year. Mr. Jones later returned to Greenbrier High School in 2007 as a math teacher and continued to coach varsity baseball and football. In 2009, he transferred to Grovetown High School, where he taught advanced math and was their assistant football coach and head baseball coach, where he led the team to the state playoffs for the first time in the school history in 2011. In 2015, Mr. Jones accepted a position at Wilkes County Comprehensive High School as the assistant principal. In 2018, Mr. Jones became the assistant principal and later registrar at Greenbrier High School, where he's been serving for the past 8 years. In 2023, completed the Governor's School Leadership Academy, and in 2024, completed the CCSD Aspiring Principals Academy. That was a lot. Thank you for all you've put into all of these jobs to getting to where you are today. Let me call out some special individuals joining Mr. Jones this evening, Dr. Jones this evening, if y'all don't mind standing so we can celebrate y'all. His wife, Kylie, his children, Wyatt and Addison, his parents, Mike and Mary Ann Jones, his in-laws, Bill and Nan Easler and Clyde and Rhonda Newman, and his brother and sister-in-law, Drew and Kelly Jones, and then a whole host of other people I know who are here. Thank you all for being here. We're honored to have you. Board members, I present to you our candidate for the principal of Greenbrier High School, Dr. Michael Allen Jones, Jr.
Do I have a
Yes,
motion?
sir. I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the recommendation of Mr. Dr. Michael Jones.
Better known as Hey You.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
Absolutely.
It's unanimous. Congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Congratulations.
Next, I'd like to call forward our candidate for the principal position for Harlem High School, Ms. Maria Knight. Come on up and let me say a little bit about you. Ms. Knight holds a Bachelor of Science in Middle Grades Education from Mercer University, a master's degree in special education, K-12, from Arkansas State University, a degree in instructional technology and media specialist from the University of West Georgia, and holds certification in Tier 1 educational leadership. Ms. Knight began teaching at Richmond Hill Middle School in 2005 as an English and social studies teacher. Over the next 9 years, she served as the parent involvement coordinator and the PBIS coach while at Richmond Hill Middle School down in Bryan County. In 2018, Ms. Knight became the media specialist at Richmond Hill Middle School, where she helped design and delivered ongoing professional development sessions for teachers on instructional technology, digital literacy, and effective media integration to elevate classroom instruction. In 2022, she accepted a position as the assistant principal at Harlem High School, where she currently serves. I'd also like to introduce some individuals that joined Ms. Knight this evening. Her husband, Russell, if y'all could stand, her sons, Brody and Barrett, and her parents, Keith and Linda Killingsworth. We're honored to have you as well. Board members, I present to you our candidate for the principal position for Harlem High School, Ms. Maria Knight.
Very well. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation. Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Welcome to the team, Ms. Knight.
Congratulations.
I'd like to call forward our candidate for Cedar Ridge Elementary Principal, Ms. Whitney Quattlebaum. Ms. Quattlebaum holds a Bachelor of Education degree in Early Childhood Education from Georgia Southern University, a Master of Education in Early Childhood and an educational specialist in curriculum and instruction, both from Augusta State University. She began her teaching career at Collins Elementary School in 2010 as a first-grade teacher. Ms. Quattlebaum later transferred to Goshen Elementary School in 2011, where she continued to teach first grade. In 2014, Ms. Quattlebaum accepted a position at Westmont Elementary as a first-grade teacher, and in 2015 became their instructional specialist and served as the Title I Parent Coordinator and New Teacher Induction Coordinator. In 2022, Ms. Quattlebaum transferred to Cedar Ridge Elementary School and became their media specialist, but was later promoted to assistant principal, where she served for the last 4 years. As of last week, she completed the CCSD Aspiring Principals Academy. Let me also introduce some folks joining her tonight. Joining Ms. Quattlebaum this evening are her husband, Matt, her children, Noah and Carson, her parents, Dwayne and Nancy Blackburn, and her sisters, Collins and Elsie. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Board members, I present to you our candidate for principal at Cedar Ridge, Ms. Whitney Quattlebaum.
Very well.
Oh, I'm going to jump ahead.
Do we have a
I'm ready. Dr. Flynn, I'd like to make a motion that we approve your recommendation for Mrs. Quattlebaum at Cedar Ridge Elementary.
Second?
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Welcome to the team.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'll call forward our candidate for Evans High School Assistant Principal, Ms. Susan Wiggs. Ms. Wiggs holds a Master of Art in Teaching Secondary English Education from University of West Georgia, Bachelor of Arts in English from Kennesaw State University. Ms. Wiggs has enrolled in the University of West Georgia in Educational Leadership Program, which begins in the fall. She began her career in education in 2012 as a technology specialist at Chestatee High School. She went on to teach 8th, 9th, and 10th grades for 10 years. Ms. Wiggs has been the instructional specialist at Evans High School for the last 2 years. She successfully completed the Columbia County Aspiring Leaders Academy this year. We're pleased to recommend Ms. Wiggs for the position of assistant principal at Evans High School. Joining Ms. Wiggs this evening, if y'all don't mind standing, her husband Luke and her children Julia and Mary L. Thank y'all for being here. Board members, I present to you our candidate for Evans High School Assistant Principal, Ms. Susan Wiggs.
Wonderful. Were there a couple other members?
Oh.
Do you have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Welcome to the team,
Congratulations.
Ms. Wiggs.
Congratulations.
Close-ups.
I'd like to call forward our candidate for Lakeside Middle School Assistant Principal, Mr. Robert Cox. Mr. Cox holds a Bachelor of Art degree in English Literature from Augusta State University, a Master of Art in Education from Augusta State University, and a Specialist in Education from Augusta University. He began his career in 2008 teaching the School of Talent Development at Augusta Christian, then went on to teach 9th grade at Glen Hills High School. Mr. Cox has been teaching at Grovetown High School for the last 12 years. He successfully completed the Columbia County Aspiring Leaders Academy this school year. We're pleased to recommend Mr. Cox for this position and would also like to ask his family to stand. Joining him this evening are his wife, Erica, and his children, Emma and Aiden, and Logan. Sorry, I got all three of them. There you go. Thank y'all for being here. Board members, I present to you our candidate for Lakeside Middle School Assistant Principal, Mr. Robert Cox.
Wonderful. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the superintendent's recommendation for Mr. Cox at Lakeside Middle School.
Second.
In a second, all in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Welcome to the team, Mr. Cox.
I'd like to call forward our candidate for Blue Ridge Elementary School Assistant Principal, Dr. Ashley Bell. Dr. Bell holds a Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood Education from Georgia Southern University, a Master of Education in Curriculum and Instruction in Accomplished Teaching from Georgia Southern University, and an Educational Doctorate in Educational Innovation and Curriculum and Instruction from Augusta University. She began her career in education in 2012 as an intervention specialist at Julia P. Bryant Elementary School in Bullock County. Dr. Bell was Teacher of the Year in 2019 at Lewiston Elementary School and Teacher of the Year in 2015 at Deering Elementary School. She has been the instructional specialist at Lewiston Elementary School for the last 3 years. Dr. Bell successfully completed the Columbia County Aspiring Leaders Academy in 2024. We're pleased to recommend her for this position, and joining her this evening are her, if y'all could stand, her husband, Douglas Bell Jr., her children, Leanna, Kimber, and Asher, and her mother, Merrill Larkins. Thank y'all for joining us. Board members, I present you our candidate for Blue Ridge Elementary School Assistant Principal, Dr. Ashley Bell.
Wonderful. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I would second that for principal at Blue Ridge Elementary.
AP.
AP.
AP, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No promotion yet.
Quick promotion.
One at a time.
No, I think sorry about that, AP.
All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Welcome to the team, Dr. Bell.
Congratulations.
I'll call forward our candidate for Brookwood Elementary School Assistant Principal, Ms. Sunny Bradford. Ms. Bradford holds a Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood Education from Augusta State University, a Master of Education in Curriculum Instruction from Augusta University, and an educational specialist in Instructional Technology from Kennesaw, Kennesaw State University. I've been reading a little bit much here. I'll get through it. She began her career in education in 2015 in Richmond County at Windsor Spring Elementary School. She then went on to teach at South Columbia Elementary School for 6 years. Ms. Bradford's been the instructional specialist at Evans Elementary School for the last 2 years. She successfully completed the Columbia County Aspiring Leaders Academy this year. And we're pleased to recommend her for this position, and joining her this evening are her husband, Jason Bradford, and her mother, Martha Bennett. Thank y'all for being here. Board members, I present to you our candidate for Brookwood Elementary School AP, Ms. Sunny Bradford.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the recommendation.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Welcome to the team. Congratulations.
Congratulations. I'd like to call forward our candidate for Lewiston Elementary School Assistant Principal, Ms. Erin Bagwell. Ms. Bagwell holds a Master of Education in Early Childhood Education from University of West Alabama, Bachelor of Science in Early Childhood and Elementary Education from Georgia Southern University. She began her career in education in 2001 as a third-grade teacher at Screven County Elementary School. She taught at Brookwood Elementary School for 17 years. Ms. Bagwell has been the Teacher of the Year, get this, 3 times. Talking about good things happening in the classroom and then moving into leadership. 2003 at Omega Elementary School at Omega, Georgia. 2009, Brookwood Elementary School, and 2025 at Harlem, North Harlem Elementary School. She's also been the recipient of the Golden Apple Award, so a whole lot of accolades there. Ms. Bagwell served as an interrelated resource teacher, EIP teacher, and currently serves as the instructional specialist at North Harlem Elementary School. She has successfully completed the Columbia County Aspiring Leaders Academy this year, and we're thrilled to recommend her for this position. Joining her this evening are her daughters, Megan and Kate. Y'all could stand, and her mother, Lucy Bozeman. Thank y'all for joining us. Board members, I present to you our candidate for Lewiston Elementary School Assistant Principal, Ms. Erin Bagwell.
Do I have a motion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to
I will second that.
suggest that
That
we
was fast, yes.
accept the superintendent's recommendation.
I'll accept that as a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. That's approved. It's unanimous. Congratulations.
Picture. I'd like to call forward our candidate for Baker Place Elementary School Assistant Principal, Ms. Amisha Butler. Ms. Butler holds a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education, a Master's in Curriculum Instruction, and an Educational Specialist in Advanced Educational Studies, all from Augusta University. Ms. Butler began her career in education in 2017 as a first and third grade teacher at Westmont Elementary School. She also taught fifth grade at Martinez Elementary School. You'll remember that she was Teacher of the Year in 2021 at Westmont Elementary School, and shortly thereafter named our District Teacher of the Year for the Columbia County School District. She's been the instructional specialist at Baker Place Elementary School for the last 3 years. She's also participated in the Columbia County Aspiring Assistant Principals Academy. And joining Ms. Butler this evening are her husband, Elliot, if you could stand, her daughter, Elliot Catherine. All right. Her mother, Sharon Myers, and bonus mom, Talithia King. Thank you all for being here. Board members, I present to you our candidate for Baker Place Elementary School Assistant Principal, Ms. Amisha Butler.
So great to see you again. Who would like to make this
I
motion?
would like to make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation for Mrs. Butler as AP at Baker Place. Congratulations.
No second,
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Second it.
Do you have a second? Oh, you do?
Second, yeah.
All in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Those were all of our school-based leadership positions, but we do have one more. I'd like to call forward our candidate for the Director of School Health, also a very important position, April Osborne. Good evening. Ms. Osborne holds Bachelor of Arts in Elementary Education from the University of South Carolina from Aiken, a Master of Science in Nursing from the Medical College of Georgia. She began her career in 1998 as an elementary school teacher in both Aiken and Burke County schools, and has also served as a service coordinator for the Babies Can't Wait program. In 2011, Ms. Osborne became the school nurse in Dahlonega, Georgia, working at Lumpkin County High School. Ms. Osborne returned to the Augusta area where she worked as a labor and delivery nurse at University Hospital, a clinical instructor at Augusta University College of Nursing, and a research nurse clinician at Augusta University in the Division of Infectious Diseases. Since 2022, Ms. Osborne has served as a nurse manager of the Infectious Diseases Research Unit at Augusta University. We're excited to have her and recommend her to you this evening. Joining Ms. Osborne are her husband, Jason, and I don't think your children were able to be here, but Julie and Baird are unable to be here, but congratulations. I know they're excited for you. Board members, I present to you our candidate for Director of School Health, April Osborne.
Make a motion to approve the recommendation.
It would be my honor to second it.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, it's unanimous. Congratulations. and welcome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. We're really looking forward to your leadership in this district.
Just let me echo that. I want to congratulate all of our new leadership appointments this evening. And I challenge and charge you to just hit the ground running and, excel, and everyone will excel around you if you set that example. So we're proud of you, we're excited for you, and we look forward to seeing you succeed in your leadership positions. Thank you very much. At this time, if anyone would like to leave, other than board members and staff, let's come back to order, ladies and gentlemen. We just thank you all for your patience. It's been
It's been fun.
great
That's
and
great.
enjoyable. Let me turn it back over to Dr. Flint.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to that section of the meeting with the approval of the consent items. We recommend approval as presented.
I make a motion that we accept the consent items as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Consent items are approved.
We'll move on to the Inspire School Spotlight, and I'll introduce, this is Greenbrier Middle School today, and I'll introduce Associate Superintendent Mr. Steve Cummins and the principal, Ms. Tony Clyett. We're very proud of their leadership, but they've also brought some special guests that they're going to introduce and join us as well. As y'all know, we do these for our schools that have shown significant growth and are inspiring all of us to continue to move forward. And Greenbrier Middle School is absolutely no exception, and we're looking forward to hearing the great things that are going on there. I'll turn it over this time to Mr. Cummings. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Flint. Good evening, board members. We are excited tonight to shine our spotlight on Greenbrier Middle. As you know, this spotlight is not just about highlighting schools, but it's also about looking at those schools that are inspiring achievement. This celebration is all about innovative programs and impactful initiatives happening in our schools, but also about the educators that are making that happen. Tonight, as Dr. Flint shared, we are proud to recognize Greenbrier Middle, where there's a strong commitment to academic excellence and student success. We're going to begin tonight with a video kind of highlighting some great things at Greenbrier, and then we'll have Principal Tony Clyett come up, as well as Assistant Principal Daniel Jordan, Instructional Specialist Jessica Shepard, and our first student, Chloe, will also come and just share their experiences at Greenbrier Middle and how they're being impacted each and every day. So we're going to start with the video.
So this year, actually, our big motto for this year is all about growth. And we know that if we have high growth, we have high achievement. And so we want to do as much as we can to get our students to grow. So our teachers are meeting with them all of the time. They have implemented data chats this year.
Last year for GMOS, obviously, I was in 7th grade, so we looked at my 6th grade GMOS. I struggle in math, and my math teacher knows that, and she sat down with me, and she taught me them again. Seeing that GMOS score be higher than it was so rewarding, because not only do I see my growth, I see that I surpassed my other grade, and it's just so amazing.
We do 3 diagnostics a year. They have typical growth and they have stretch growth. The nice thing about the continuity of our benchmarks that we've had the last few years is that we've got to track it for year after year and see what we're doing and what we're putting into motion and seeing the results after that, because we can see our level 1s and 2s get smaller and our 3s and 4s grow. And that's one of the most rewarding things for us.
And it's not only about growth for students. For us this year, it's about growing as individuals and as teachers. Within the past 3 years, we have implemented content level PLC meetings twice weekly. And during that time, teachers are diving in deep into their data. When we review all of that data, we realize that the rigor of those assessments is at a much higher level than our common assessments were. So the first thing that we did was revamp all of our common assessments. And then we started looking at our instructional practices. Are we really teaching at a level of rigor where our students are going to be assessed? And so that, that evolved into us changing our instructional processes and our instructional strategies and activities and really diving into that. In the last 3 years, we have seen great strides in our CCRPI score, and our teachers, each content area for content mastery has raised. So we are seeing great strides, and we know that our students can do it. We just got to help get them there.
Thank you. Well, good evening. We are honored to be here tonight and to discuss with you just a little bit about what makes our school so special. At Greenbrier Middle School, we believe that before high-level learning can achieve, we have to have a culture of celebration and appreciation. And so we make it our mission to constantly celebrate our people. And I mean our students, our staff, and our parents. We want our PAC to feel valued, and we want them to feel inspired and proud. And so it starts with our staff, because we know that a supportive teacher is an effective teacher. And when educators feel valued and appreciated, they can fully focus on helping our students succeed. We are adamant that our celebrations are not behind closed doors. If you follow us on any kind of social media, you've probably seen that. We want our celebrations to be big and vibrant and visible. And so PBIS has been in effect for a few years now. Every single Friday, without fail, you can hear the wheels of our PAC cart and our music coming down the hallways. It's a constant reminder to recognize our students and to celebrate them for going the extra mile.
So culture definitely sets the stage for our success, but our PAC learning communities drive the results. A few years ago, we made a commitment to 2 protected planning days per week, and that's something that as an admin team and our IS, Ms. Shepard, we join in as well. So we're trying to go to every single PLC if possible, and we believe that preparation has really been the key to our success. Our teachers use a backwards design approach. They begin with the ACE case question bank when they're making their tests in Illuminate to build rigorous assessments using the proxy items. Then we use the ACE case resources to plan our instruction and to make sure it matches the level of rigor in our assessments. For this school year, we really put a focus on small group instruction, and like Ms. Clyott said earlier, really it's a growth culture in our school for students, staff, as an admin team. We're focusing on how do we grow ourselves, and then how do we grow all those in our building. We're using peer observations, targeted professional development, and real-time data to ensure high-level learning is accessible to each student.
All right, and with that culture of collaboration, that's where our collaborative planning leads directly to engaging and enriching experiences. We truly do believe that in our building, we don't want to just teach the standards, but our students need to experience the standards, right? We learn best whether it's using the STAR Lab or dissecting frogs, which have gotten bigger since we all dissected them, just letting you know. Gathering community dirt samples and running it through a lab. We encourage hands-on simulations in every classroom. Whether our chorus and band, they're performing at the Biltmore or in the hallways for holiday excitement. Our students are recreating the trials of A Long Walk to Water. We're trying to encourage and grow our teachers to move beyond just that four-wall classroom experience. Right? When history comes to life, for example, in the Mary Fagan simulation, we're not just teaching facts from history, but we're engaging the minds and enriching their lives, hopefully through little experiences. So at Greenbrier Middle School, we believe that meaningful learning extends far beyond the classroom walls. Education is an experience that happens everywhere, whether students are visiting the site of the Siege of Savannah to bring history to life or walking down to Greenbrier High School in order to watch their fellow peers in Hello Girls. While they're watching the Hello Girls musical while studying World War I in their social studies classes. Or they might head down the hill to Greenbrier Elementary, where our 7th graders actually teach. For 3 years now, they have taught our 5th graders how to look into microscopes because they have been exposed to that already. So they gain some leadership there by teaching their younger peers. These experiences show that learning is not confined to a single space or just one moment. We're committed to providing our students and supporting our teachers in planning for opportunities for discovery, engagement, and to grow wherever learning presents itself and is possible.
So these experiences engage our students' minds and enrich their lives, but most importantly, they inspire them to drive and to dream bigger and grow as much as possible. And no one embodies that inspiration better than one of our current 8th graders, Miss Chloe Childers.
Thank you, Miss Clyett. My favorite part of Greenbrier has definitely been the community. There's so much love and support here for me as a learner, and what has truly impacted me is how my teachers have brought learning to life. In 6th grade, we moved away from textbooks and we went to hands-on simulations and labs, and that let us engage in our learning and connect to our real lives. But by 7th grade, that curiosity turned into engineering when me and my team designed and made rockets. It didn't stop in science. My math teacher also showed us how to use the Pythagorean theorem to calculate the altitude and trajectory of our flight. The best part was witnessing our work on launch day. Now as an 8th grader, I've seen our physical science standards in action and how they connect to our own backyard. Visiting Plant Vogel this year was a turning point for me. Seeing behind the scenes at the nuclear facility that powers our region and meeting the professionals who are there was amazing. And because of the experiences and more, I'm not just a student anymore, I'm an aspiring engineer. Being part of the pack has taught me that I don't have to wait till I'm an adult to make an impact. My teachers have inspired me to be a lifelong learner, always looking for the next why and how.
So this is the Wolfpack Way. We are a community that celebrates together, a faculty that grows together, and we are leading our students to be inspired every day. Thank you so much for letting us showcase our pack, and we do have little parting gifts. Yay. So Ms. Gray is giving you our Wolfpack Way. It's a unifying philosophy, and every staff member in our building has one. We keep it on hand. It is just a reminder of who we are, and what we strive to be each day. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Great job.
Great job.
There's nothing else left to say. Thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause, guys.
I think we should have put that last, because now I've got to talk about policy. Well, we will thank you all. That was very inspiring, and thank you all for the work that you do. You really brought it to life with those descriptions, so thank you. We will move on to item 10, Board Policy, JN, Awards and Scholarships. This is just a description tonight. We'll leave this on the table till the next meeting, answer any questions, take any feedback from the public. We are recommending making an adjustment for next year to this policy. As you know, we've already selected valedictorians, salutatorians for this year. But what this does is make an adjustment to JN, Awards and Scholarships, where valedictorians and salutatorians are decided at the end of first semester instead of going into second semester for the third 9 weeks. Our team has looked across other school districts, similar, larger and smaller, and this is a pretty typical way to do this. It's also very consistent because of the way our grades are calculated at the end of first semester. If you have any other questions, I'll try to answer them, or Dr. Campbell has worked extensively on this as well. So we'll present this to you as a new adjustment to the policy. But this will be on the table until the next meeting, where we'll ask for approval. Any questions?
Was this in response to anything in particular, or just a general, hey?
We look at this every year in these areas, especially, obviously, you know, the work around valedictorians and salutatorians. You just don't want to get that wrong. You want to be very consistent. And through that, talking to other districts, we saw that it was very typical practice to do it because of the way we're grading now and have very consistent grades at the end of the semester. The end of a 9-week isn't quite as consistent. And through that discussion, Dr. Campbell went out and also talked to all of our principals, and they also, all of the high school principals support this as well. And if I'm leaving anything out, Dr. Campbell, let me know, but I think, oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's such an important role there. That was something that came up.
No,
so
thank you for the background. It just helps me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we'll leave that on the table, no action necessary tonight, and if you have other questions, let us know, and we'll try to get that answered. I'm going to ask Ms. Jackson to come forward to present the Code of Conduct update. She'll give you a little more detail. We're also not asking for approval tonight, but as you know, we got to get this out pretty early because students are registering earlier and earlier for the next school year. So, Ms. Jackson, thank you for all your work on this.
Good evening. Feels like we just did this, doesn't it? But, across the state of Georgia, if you go to any sort of behavior training or safety training, or just discussions in general among colleagues, police departments, you name it, we all feel that increase in behavior challenges, both in regular education and in special education. And a lot of it's since the pandemic, and a lot of it's also because of social media and the electronic device challenge that we've either at school or away from school that we sometimes have to navigate through. This also includes even at the elementary level. Bills such as House Bill 268 have been put into place to try and address some of these behavior and safety concerns. But the Code of Conduct also addresses some of these challenges and is required by law. The state provides us with the must-haves and are included in the Code of Conduct, and defines Code of Conduct violations based on state reportable offense definitions that they give us. State reportable data is reported and reviewed each year by the state. Each year we ask for input from school personnel, parents, students through local school input, as well as our teacher, parent, and student superintendent advisory committees or councils. Although we did not change much this year, or not recommending the change in a lot of content at all, you will see, because you have a copy in front of you that you can look through now in the summer, that we did update the format a little bit. It was time for a change. And the flow of information. And we did this with intent to make it more user-friendly for not just school administrators and teachers, but also for parents and students. And I'm just going to highlight some of those recommendations that we're looking at. As always, we will adjust information in the Code of Conduct based on changes in state policies, the Georgia Department of Education updates, new laws, and legislative changes that come up. Like last year, as Dr. Flint mentioned, we're not seeking approval tonight, but we're going to wait for approval over the summer, most likely in June, once we have the updated changes and any information that we need to include based on law or legislative changes. We did want to go ahead, though, and share some of the enhancements to the Code of Conduct that we're looking at. We updated the format, like I said, in flow of information, such as changing to a one-page format rather than 2 columns. In the Code of Conduct this year, we highlighted some important Code of Conduct violations and information to emphasize their importance in the front of the book. The range of consequences and behavior interventions are listed in the beginning of the Code of Conduct rather than under each violation to show progression. The format will also look different when it's posted on our website. And I think I'm most excited about this part because it will have tabs to go along with each section in the Code of Conduct so that when you pull it up, you don't have to necessarily go through the whole body of the code. You can click on the various headlines, and that way you can get that information and click, and again, not to have to peruse through the whole thing. Code of conduct violations that we highlighted this year include, and we put it under a section called important notices, include bullying, attendance, threats. We also added a new notice about instigating rule violations, which inform students that they're not to advise, encourage, or cause, or even attempt to cause another person to engage in a prohibited act that's in the Code of Conduct. False reporting, searches for contraband, and the new anonymous reporting system called Stop It that is required by House Bill 268 is also found in this section. And the requirement for discipline records prior to enrollment, another requirement by House Bill 268. We put that in this section so that parents, if they're transferring in, they know that we have to have those discipline and behavior records prior to enrolling them. We added the video camera, that video cameras may be utilized in public areas, on school property, and on our buses. Video surveillance is used to promote the order, safety, and security of students, staff, and property. A new statement was also added about non-student conduct on school premises and buses based on Georgia law. This statement explains that any person other than a student, to include adults, can also be held accountable or asked to leave premises, and they may be charged if they insult or are abusive to school personnel in the presence of students. This includes getting on a bus, at a bus stop. It also includes at school events, like an extracurricular event or a ring ceremony. Unfortunately, as you know, we have had adults try to get on the bus, and that's just an example, and we've had them try to be abusive to office personnel, teachers, administrators. So this is just notifying that that's a possibility as well, that they are to act right. So like I said, you have a copy in front of you, and we look forward to revisiting this code of conduct over the summer, and I can answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Discipline record requirements for enrollment, I really like that. What are we doing with that, other than just receiving it? Is there any action items that have been added or contemplated?
I'm sorry, I didn't
As far as what we can do with that information when a child is coming into the school?
Yes, I mean, we make it, I'm navigating through one right now that we're having to go through, and the fact of the matter is, when we look at that, we either don't enroll them if we don't have the discipline records, or when we look at it and it's concerning, we're going to have an entry hearing if they're middle and high school, or we're going to involve, sometimes we've had to involve juvenile court because it might be a situation in which they're assigned to a group home, or there's a lot of little caveats out there that we involve our folks and do our due diligence. And our staff has done a wonderful job this year with, because it was a change, because the parents are eager to get their kids in there. And even from neighboring counties, we've had to hold that line. So the House bill, the law certainly helped with that, and we're seeing it through and making sure that it's emphasized.
So it's in full effect, and
Yes, sir.
and
It is.
if you can share, is there like a percentage of people that we've not brought in because of this new rule?
I
new
don't
law?
have that information right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
You mentioned that we report information to the state at the end of the year?
We do.
Okay, so I've recently heard that we tell our teachers to miscode information, discipline, so that it's not reported.
Ooh, I hope not. That's not,
We don't tell teachers.
it's not something no. That's not a district expectation at all, nor would I imagine any of our principals do that. So we code based on the code, and in fact, I would venture to say that our school district, we're very transparent when it comes to the coding. I don't want to ever say we're too transparent, because we're not. There's no such thing as being too transparent with our codes that we use, but we put it out there and make sure we try to educate. You know, that's one of those things too at the beginning of the year, even when we're going through the training for coding discipline and referrals, we can certainly emphasize and make sure that we get that cleared up.
So there's no concerted effort on behalf of the district to have faculty miscode discipline offense
No,
This
ma'am.
is, so that it's reported incorrectly to the state?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I didn't think so, just wanted to be clear, wanted to make sure everybody could hear that.
I like the format. I think it's nice.
I do too.
It's easier to read. I think the information is great. I think, I don't know if it's just easier to read this
I think it is.
or there's more information that's easier to find. Does that make sense? Like
Yes, ma'am. I think it's
seeing things I
easier, the
haven't seen,
format.
maybe?
Yes. So, and that's the other thing, we just rearranged some stuff so that
Yeah.
it makes sense, a logical flow of the information.
Definitely appreciate it.
It's still a requirement, correct, for the student and/or the parents to sign?
Yes.
Yes.
That they've received
It
it or
is.
reviewed it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Tim,
So we usually do an update on, the parent has to sign. So,
to Mrs. Teasley's point, if a teacher did feel that they were receiving that message, what would be their process for reporting it?
Certainly, would talk to the administration first, and let them know that either question it, let them know that, and then certainly let one of us know if that's the case. I mean, because it's not something, I'm not aware of any of our admin that would try to make that happen. Because again, we have such a code that is pretty hard to, there's not a lot of wiggle room in how you code certain things.
Not only
Now,
that.
where you get in like willful refusal, there's a lot of people might interpret what that looks like differently, but that's at a discretion of a teacher. Willful refusal versus student incivility. They're somewhat similar at times, and based on the circumstances, one may code it differently than the other, but that's not a district initiative, nor is it being, you're still reporting it to the state as a state reportable.
And if you're reporting it falsely, that's falsifying records.
Yes.
That is in the code of conduct, I mean, in the ethics, and that's going to get you face-to-face with the PSC, which is not a place you want to be if you want to maintain your certificate.
No,
So I just don't see anybody doing that.
I don't either.
What is the difference between the two manuals?
Elementary and,
Yeah, I mean, is there something that you could point out?
we
like-
took out, like the hearing process. There's not anything in there about long-term suspension or expulsion because it doesn't apply to elementary. That's the main difference.
Ms.
And
Jackson?
some of the student support processes,
Okay.
they may differ based on age level.
And I know you said this, but with this conversation, it may be helpful to just mention the state requirements around the rules, because some have some very specific requirements. And let's say, one that comes to mind is gangs. If we don't check all the boxes on that charge letter and actually during the due process of the child, the state would not uphold that because we didn't show that they violated the rules as written at the state level, and we're required to do that. Now, we can go a little bit further too, but you might want to maybe talk about how ours is aligned with the state.
Yes, I mean, we do that. We have the codes that we have to check almost, we have to look at it. They have the different levels, and in those levels, there's descriptions on how that looks. And we have a student information team that, through Infinite Campus, they're, for lack of a better word, bulldogs about making sure things are coded correctly. And they will challenge all of us if they feel like something has been coded incorrectly to make sure that it's corrected. And they'll send out reports. This is, where you're at right now. And we go through, and then Ms. Hughes and her team, we go through what they report at the end of the year. We go through and have phone calls and question and make sure that things are as they're supposed to be, and then we report it to the state. And so it's, there's definitely a check and balance system with what we do, when it comes to hearings in particular, and that element of it, because we have to, like Dr. Flint said, a charge letter, and then when you get to the hearing, if they'll appeal if anything's not done quite as it should be, and the state will hold us accountable.
Now, regarding the discipline reporting, I've also heard from teachers, and I know the state's actually acknowledged it as a problem in some school districts. Have we had any issues with teachers reporting something and then having that disciplinary report disappear on a child?
Not that I'm familiar with, no, ma'am. I don't know of any case such as that.
I have a big concern about, distractions in the classroom. I think we get the big items, the vapes, the fights. We report them all the time, and we do a really good job of doing that. The emails are all the time, right? But distractions in the classroom, have we done anything to define those and to help ease that? Because I do hear a lot from the public about that. It could be talking over the teacher, as basic as that, preventing a child beside them from learning. Is there anything that y'all have addressed in that regard? And is there, and a second part of that, is there any reason why that the system might be set up to incent for not reporting what might be considered nuisance distractions in the classroom?
Now, and you have like the school local level with reporting that gets put up, it's not considered a state reportable. It is a in-school, and the teachers deal with that, and they get trained with it as well. We also are behavior specialists. We've increased those in our school along with our student advocates, so we're trying to put as many support elements as we can to support the admin and the teachers so that we can start with, at a much younger age, focusing on teaching our kids how to behave and getting them early so that it doesn't grow into an even larger problem, because we've identified, that's where our student advocates this year and next year are spending most of their time at the elementary level to try to work on not correcting, not just punishing, but correcting and helping as a support for our teachers. That's their sole purpose, is to support the classroom. And so I think we're going to see
I like that. It's great.
a change in that.
Like on page 4 and 5, I think it's 4 in the elementary and 5, I think. Is that what you're down at the bottom? Is that kind of what you're, that's what you're more interested in?
Is there still a state threshold where if you go above a certain amount in a certain category, it triggers state review or something? Can you, is that per category? Can you?
Well, it's considered unsafe schools, and there's areas like drugs, for example, weapons are the two, and then terroristic threats. Those are the main areas that they look at. And so when we report those, that if we have a number based on our percentage of students in the school, drugs come to mind. For example, if we had X amount of drugs compared to the number of students that we had, you could technically be considered an unsafe school. And I don't want to jinx us, because we haven't had that in a very long time.
It also affects your star rating. Does
it? It does, and that's helped. I mean, administrators are certainly aware of that star. PBIS, a lot of things they've put in place to try to help our students, not just punish, but to correct their behavior, and working with that, with the parents, because you'll see in the code too, it talks a lot about parental input and making sure that we involve our parents to help us. It's a partnership.
Kind of like shake and bake, we all helped?
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember those commercials, but.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Great job, I like it.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Her and her team do a great job, as well as our schools. As we talk about instruction, behavior is a part of instruction. And so we need to make sure that we teach our students along the way as they go through our school district appropriate behavior, and that's a big part of the job. So I think she said that very effectively. Okay, we're going to move into the FY27 budget presentation. If you look at where you spend your money, then you can definitely tell what's important to an organization, and I think that's going to come through clear with this presentation. I'd like to turn it over to our CFO to start the presentation. I'll come back up and talk a little bit about some of the improvements, and then if you have any discussion or questions along the way. As you know, this is the first read of the budget for the board and the public, and we're looking forward to getting input and continuing to have a discussion until we get to the final approval. So, Mr. Casado, let me thank you and your team for all you've done. It takes a lot of work, and it goes on all year long. It doesn't just happen one time a year, so thank you for what you've done.
Good evening. I'd like to also, before I get into it, thank all the teachers, principals, the department heads. There is a lot of people that go into these big numbers that we look at, and they've put a lot of work into their parts of the budget as well. So as we get into this, I want to, the first few slides are around just the budget process and the overview of that. And I don't know what slides, it's Dan. There we go. Okay. So just to remind all of us and anybody who's watching kind of a general overview of the budget process. And this is all in policy DC, and also is kind of grounded in state law and state reporting levels. But the Board of Education approves the budget at the legal reporting level to the state, which is expenditure function and revenue source by each fund. And then the budget is managed by the district within the approved budget. And reviews of the budget are conducted periodically, really monthly, as I'm putting board reports together in order to see if any changes are needed with circumstances, laws, new money that's come along, just to ensure the budget remains effective and relevant. Any anticipated expenditure that exceeds the budget by fund and function must go to you, the board, for approval through the amendment process. We then adjust the budget that we started with or where we were for the new appropriation of funds. And again, that's a good internal control process. It's one that's not required. It's not one that every school district even does, but it's one where essentially we come and ask you, can we make a change to the budget that you have adopted throughout the fiscal year? Each month, you all receive financial reports, as you know, and you're presented those by fund and function. The reports include the current budget, the adopted budget, as compared to actual expenditures. And then the building program does look a little bit different. It's a more detailed report over the entire life of each of the active ESPLOS cycles at the individual project level. And we manage those budgets within the board-approved function level, and of course approve bids and contracts as they come to you for consideration. So that is a very, very 30,000-foot level of the budget process at the beginning, but also throughout the fiscal year. So as we get to the very first look at the proposed budget for FY27, you'll see there are some given things in here. Yes, ma'am.
You have a copy of that?
I absolutely do, yes. One moment.
And just to jump in real quick, is this the same presentation slides that we went over last week with you and Dr. Flint?
It hasn't changed.
Okay, so I can follow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the first look at the budget for next year without needed improvements, and you'll see that at the top. It's, again, divided by funds across the top, and we'll go through all those, some in more detail than others. And then on the left-hand side are your major revenue categories, and then your expenditures by function. And those are not our functions we came up with. Those are state-defined functions and align with the way that we report and the way our annual financial statements are done, put together. And so when we look at the general fund, what's in here already? $390,044,500 in total revenue for the general fund. We have included some adjustments based on projections from this year's data, a little bit for growth in property tax revenue, although we don't know what the digest is going to come in at yet, of course. And then we still don't have final QBE numbers, but I think in your state revenue line, we've got a pretty good number there, just waiting on those final numbers to come from the state once the governor signs the budget for next year. And then in your estimated expenditures by function, we've included any changes in personnel based on weighted staffing, you know, how the schools use their points based on enrollment, things like that. The increases to state health benefit, TRS, the step increase, all of that's already included in these numbers. And we'll go through those in a little more detail in some future slides. And so general fund expenditures, $398,765,112. So as we move on, that second column, special revenue and school nutrition, are all your federal programs, plus your school nutrition fund. We have all those combined into the same column. Your building fund is your building program. Your main revenue sources there, of course, are ESPLOS, collections, interest earnings, state revenue for the projects, the major projects that are eligible for entitlement funds. And then on the expenditure side, through my, cash flows that I have, coming up with the best estimate of what we're going to actually spend next fiscal year out of the building program as the bills roll through. Fourth is debt service fund, which is just simply the fund that we pay our general obligation bonds out of. And you'll see down at the bottom of the building fund, the transfer out that matches the transfer in at the top of the debt service fund to make those payments, fulfill those obligations. And then the last there is our workers' compensation fund that we keep each year for that purpose. Show this every year. It's just a breakdown of our revenue distribution at a high level. So the left-hand side is general fund only, and you'll see that state, and this is pretty much in line with historical numbers, state remains around 60%, local remains around 40% of the revenue that we're bringing in to support the budget. The right-hand side is all the funds added together that we just went through, and of course, when you add those federal programs and school nutrition in, you're going to have a bigger slice of the pie that goes to federal, still about 50% state, 45% local. All right, diving deeper into the general fund specifically, we like to bring this one every year. It's updated for last fiscal year, 2025. So out of 180 total school districts and city school systems, we like to show the per pupil expenditure and what we spend as a percentage of the budget for each of these function lines here. And think of these numbers as the most in all of these categories. So for the first one, we have the 15th most FTE reported on 2025 QBE allotment. That's the size of our district. We spend the 6th most in the state as a percent per FTE on instruction, 178th most, so less, as a percent per FTE of pupil services. We are last in the state, 180 out of 180, in the percent of our budget spent on general administration. A lot of that superintendent's office, other departments that support that here at central office, but also out there too, and some other related costs. And we spend the 174th most on per FTE total expenditure. So the 7th least in the state at $12,155. And if you look at school districts of 5,000 FTE or more, we are the lowest. All the 6 other districts that are lower than us are smaller districts. This is a breakdown of expenditure comparison just for the general fund again. And like always, we hover around about 90% of the general fund budget is salaries and benefits. We're a people business, if you will, people organization. The other 10 or so percent goes to all the other things it takes to run a school district: fuel, insurance, textbooks, software, school supplies, all the paper, all the things that people need, if you will, to do the job. So again, very consistent with years past on that. We've had lots of conversations about this, and I'm sure, unfortunately, we will, as we continue to talk about the employer's share. So this is all our cost as the employer of our matching benefits to employees. FICA and Medicare remains the same. Teacher retirement, again, set by the state. We have no control over that percentage, is increasing slightly to 22.32% next year, so a 1.87% change there. Health insurance for both your certified and non-certified. Again, we don't set these rates, we just have to accept them. Going up to $23,220 next year, which is a 2.65% change. These rates for certified and non-certified can be different, and they have in years past, but they're the same for next year. And then the life insurance we provide is the same, and we still will provide up to a maximum of a 3% match for those employees in the public school employees retirement system. A little bit of information on that. I just pulled the numbers. I think it's important to note that it was just a few years ago that health insurance for the general fund, this was in FY21, we spent a total of $25.2 million on health insurance in total. and a net locally after state support of about $8.2 million. The year we're in right now, FY26, I'm projecting we'll spend $52.8 million on health insurance and a net local cost of about $16.3. So all of this has doubled in cost just since 2021. We and other school districts have had to navigate that and find ways to fund that at the local level because, as you know, many of your non-certified folks are not funded by the state whatsoever. So when they put these increases, we got to fund them, and that spread will continue into next year with that increase. Okay, the next slide here is just a summary of those major increases for you. This is the gross cost, not the net after state support, but the step increase that we give employees and are funded for T&E through QBE each year is about $4.2 million. State health increase 2.8, and then teachers retirement about $1.5 million. Just backing up those costs that we went up through just now. And again, these are already built into the budget sort of as givens, if you will. Okay. All right, we always like to show inflation from year to year. So this is the 12-month % change of the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, from March of 2025 to March of 2026. You see how they break it down kind of into different general categories. We always use the first one, the all items one. It kind of incorporates all the different categories of items together. And you can't see the number, but it is 3.3% March to March. So that is about where we are today with inflation as compared to just 12 months ago. And so we incorporate that into our state history of state salary increases as we are looking at perhaps what we can do for raises, if you will, cost of living adjustments for next fiscal year. And so we've updated that table here for you. It goes back to 2020. I chose 2020 because that's really when inflation started to take off on the heels of COVID. And you can see the U.S. inflationary numbers by calendar year right there. And then on the right-hand side, either the cost of living adjustments that we have been able to give that are permanently there, or the one-time stipends that we've been able to give through different mechanisms, just for context, to make sure that they're there. Just understand, of course, that those were one-time. Those were never built into the pay scales, if you will. And so if you add up those U.S. inflationary numbers and then the permanent cost of living adjustments, you get a difference of where we sit today at about 10.4% is where our pay is behind where it was in comparison to inflation. And so that's always good to look at as we're having these discussions, especially around cost of living adjustments for next year. Okay, I think we're going to get into the general fund improvements, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Flint for this one.
Thank you, Mr. Casado. Every year we look at obviously our strategic plan, goals from last year, needed goals for the next year. We also work with all of our schools, and our full cabinet works together to build not only their current needs, but what they are recommending for next year. Some of those we're not able to do, and so we have to work through that. This is a list of the needed improvements, the top ones that we really think we need to do for next year. You'll see the largest part of this is that cost of living adjustment. We're recommending a 3% cost of living across the board. I'll just maybe mention that last year we were able to fund, and this is local, we really would like the state to step up and do a little more with salaries. Where we believe salaries need to be is going to require the state to help us get there. However, we need to do what we can locally. But if you'll remember the 4% from last year, we went back and looked at other districts. This year, we're not going to be able to see all the districts, what they're doing right now, but after they approve their budget, we will. So that 4% last year with the step increases, there was less than 5% of the districts across the state, that 180 school districts in the state of Georgia that were able to do that. So kudos to you as the board and what we're able to do with really a tight budget. Because of that, we're also looking to add the 3% this year. We believe this is also going to be at a pretty low level as far as the percentage of other school districts that are going to be able to do this. But again, we need to remain competitive, and as you saw with the challenges with inflation, we really need to do what we can. So that's the largest percentage of improvements. We have another list of things here. The next three you'll see are areas that we've been working on. They're directly related to the work that you as a board did in the Excellence in Governance Institute. You've already made some adjustments here, and thank you for doing that in the work with our special education department. That's been a focus for the last couple of years, and we've seen some really good improvements, and we're looking forward to the next couple of years. As we move down, we do have some adjustments to positions and a little bit of pay. Let me just remind you that Mr. Wright leads a group that is our Benefits and Compensation Committee. It's a very important committee for us to be able to stay at a market level on all of these positions. They look at these on a rotational basis, but if we think one's out of kilter, they'll add it to the top of the list. And some of these are adjustments in those areas. You know, the robotic stipends there, you'll know that we've done a lot with that the last couple of years. We actually have had a couple of great grants that came in. With the amount of equipment that we have, there's a lot of extra work that's going on with that, and so we decided to add that in. You'll also see purchasing agent. That is an area that we need to continue to work with. We do a great job with it today, but we need to continue with all the things we're doing with the building program. We need to make sure we get that because it'll help save us money if we continue to get that right like we have been. We are recommending a new position, open records request position. We've had an increase so dramatic in those, we actually believe that it's just going to take a full-time position to help pull those open records requests. The HVAC are additional positions. Those are areas that we many times outsource the work. We believe this will be a savings in those areas. And then you can see the others are mainly adjustments due to the Benefits and Compensation Committee. So unless you have any specific questions, you can read through that list. I'd be happy to address any of them specifically tonight or any other night. And if you don't have any other questions, we'll move back to Mr. Casado to go through the rest of the budget.
Okay, so this is the same exact as the one we started with, except we've added a couple lines, one down at the bottom of the general fund with needed improvements, that 10.6 million, just to get it there for you and see the impact on fund balance. But as we get closer and move through the process and get a better idea of where we're headed, we will distribute those across the functions appropriately, of course. The second thing being at the top of special revenue and school nutrition funds, a needed improvement on the revenue side. And we haven't talked about it yet. We're about to get in it once we go through school nutrition, but just wanted to go ahead and put that there for you so that you have it. All the other numbers are the same. Okay, so speaking of school nutrition, we show you this next slide every year about fund balance and how it's fluctuated. Now, as a history, before 21-22, school nutrition program's fund balance was pretty low, and that program was barely kind of, scraping by, if you will, from a fund balance perspective. COVID hit, and one of the few good things that came out of that was this injection of federal money into the school nutrition programs, and all kids were eating free. All students were, if you remember back. And they increased their reimbursement rates pretty drastically too. So we had higher participation, all the kids were eating for free, and it really helped prop up the fund balance for this program. We thought at the time, 8.8 million's fund balance, that's a bit too high. So let's invest some of these funds intentionally back into the program through equipment, some additional positions, raises, things like that. Again, this program sees all the same benefit increases that the general fund and the rest of the school district does. These employees are one and the same. And I think the pressure of those has continued to make the balancing of it a little bit challenging. We've intentionally spent down the fund balance. We're in a good place with it still. And so just wanted to show you that history there. However, if you look at the actual budget for next year, you're going to see that they are operating at a deficit. And so we want to do something to close that gap as well. So that's just a snapshot. Projected fund balance at the end of this year of about 6.3, projected revenue and expenditure deficit of about 1.1 million. So if we carry that through to the end of next fiscal year, we're down to about a $5 million fund balance. I still think that's a safe place to be. We don't want too much necessarily, but we've got to do something about the deficit that we're seeing. And so the only real way to do that is through meal prices at the register. So before we get into that, this is a tool that the state puts out. It's the paid lunch equity calculation. And it's a tool that you use that the state uses to basically recommend to districts what they should be charging at the register for paid meals. We're only talking about paid meals here. So these are students that don't qualify for free and reduced lunch. And so that calculation for the year we're in right now recommends a paid lunch price of $4.25. If you were to carry that through to next year, the same calculation, assuming the same inflation, you'd be at about $4.40. Now, we're not recommending that, but we are recommending some increases from where we are today. So the numbers at the top of each section are where we are today. So paid lunches right now are $3.50. And blue is what we're recommending their increase to for next year. So from $4.50 to $4, from $1.75 for a paid breakfast to $2, and then adult paid lunches and breakfasts, you can see that increase there as well. And based on current meals served and projecting that throughout the end of this year, we think that'll bring in about $660,000 more in revenue for that program. That will greatly help close the deficit that program's currently operating in and get us closer to it being a well-oiled, self-sustaining program financially, which is what you want. This slide here is all familiar to you, and it is just a snapshot of our special revenue funds, so our federal programs, if you will, plus the lottery pre-K through the state. And I'll just go through them briefly. Special education's the first two columns there with preschool special education, and then 6B, which is all other special education funding that we receive from the federal government. The next is homeless. It's a small grant to support homeless students. Title I, we all know, that's four-year schools with lower free and reduced lunch percentages and supporting the efforts there. Title II is improving teacher quality is what it once was called, but it's for professional learning, things like that for teachers. Title III supports your English learning students, another small grant there that we get from them. Title IV is a student support grant that kind of focuses on fine arts and things like that, and that's the way that we use it. Vocational is your federal money that supports CTAE. We know lottery pre-K here in the state of Georgia, that's there, as well as ROTC. We get some money to pay for those instructors in those programs as well. So we don't quite know, again, what these budgets will be for next year. We really won't know till September, October timeframe. So we've done our best to conservatively estimate it based on where we are today and what we know our student population's done over the course of the year. And we will bring those amendments to you like we always do when we get the real numbers for each grant.
Mr. Casado, before we move forward, I know you said this, but we get this every year, so it may be worth just reiterating. This is only the federal dollars, and our special education budget is a whole lot different. This is just special education from the federal government, and the same thing would go for vocational and all these. And so a lot of this would also be in the regular budget, but these are the federal funds. And I know we get questions every year about those, and so it might just be good to clear that up.
Yeah, these are not the budgets for the total program. This is just what the federal government's given us to support these different programs, if you will. Okay, so again, same exact snapshot as the last time of the budget, with the exception of at the bottom, under general fund outgoing transfers, we've added $20 million to the $900,000 that was there for the building program, and you'll see it, the corresponding transfer in now under the building fund accordingly. And so we have a group of projects, a list of projects that came from the 10-year building program that we would like to use these funds to go ahead and do next fiscal year. So I think that's it. Oh, no, one more slide. The next slide's very important. These are the dates and times of the budget calendar schedule. So tonight's April 21st. We're doing this overview of the entire budget. There's no action on your part tonight that we're asking for. By law, we have to have 2 public input meetings, and so the first is scheduled April 28th at 8 a.m. here in this room, and then May 12th at 5:30 during the board meeting. We'll do the second one and offer public input at that time. And then we'll ask for tentative approval that night from you. Again, it's not tentative approval is not necessarily something required by law. It's not something that we absolutely must do or is required to move forward. We just traditionally always have. I think it's a good practice to have. So that's there on May 12th after the second public input meeting, and then final approval at the regularly scheduled board meeting on June 16th. So, and this has been published and will be on our website as well for the public to see. And I'll take any questions you may have.
All right, well, I'll jump in. Thank you, Alex, for all the work you do putting this together. I know it takes a lot of time and a lot of food for thought for sure. Kind of the only question I really had for tonight, and then I'm looking forward to next Tuesday when we really jump in. I noticed on our fiscal year 26 budget, so the year that we're currently in, I see that we have an estimated ending fund balance as of June of this year, 2026, of approximately $103.7 million. And I see on this proposed budget for fiscal year 27, it has for the same time period, estimated ending fund balance for this fiscal year, June 2026, it has it at $126 million. So it's previously estimated at $103.7 million, and then now we're looking and it's estimated to be $126 million. So what categories of revenue and expense would you say we could attribute the success to, this excess, if you will? So kind of what categories did excess revenue come in that we didn't anticipate, and where maybe did we spend less? What's in your opinion?
Yeah, so again, that 103 number would have been about this same time last year. So it's an estimate in April of where we would end in a couple months at the end of June 30th. We did end a little higher than 103, so I believe it was like 108. So we were close, but still a little bit higher. So that would impact that rolls forward through your fund balance, if you will. But generally speaking, we budget, when your general fund budget's 90% per salaries and benefits, and you've got 3,800 full-time people plus about 400 more part-time, when you're budgeting for employees that come and go and new positions, I tend to budget more on the conservative side, meaning, what all on the slightly higher end might this cost us. You also don't know from year to year who's going to take health insurance, and I've seen that swing 5-10% for whatever the reason one year in either direction. And so the savings that we typically see in the general fund are always around the salaries and benefits for the most part. With it being 90%, with the unpredictability of it to a certain extent, that's generally where it comes into play. Revenue, same, property tax is pretty predictable. The state can be predictable. Once you have those numbers, they do come up with different grants and revenue throughout the fiscal year as they amend their budget. But we do see that come in slightly higher from time to time than originally adopted.
Okay, so just to recap, revenue, it might be additional money from the state. Expenses might come in a little bit less for salaries and benefits, and that's where
That's right.
you would see that key difference.
Right.
Okay. Are we still anticipating, because like you said, we're at, as of our board financials, 108.6 million as in fund balance for the end where we're at right now, right? With a few months left to go
Yeah, I
for this
think,
fiscal year?
yeah, I think the latest ones you just approved we have a fund balance about 130.
130.
And you will anticipate that will decline steadily through the end of the fiscal year. Once all the property tax revenues received in November, December, January, the rest of your fiscal year typically is a decline from that peak all the way to June 30th.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you anticipating on QBE? I know it's a moving target. Ballpark.
Oh, gosh. Let me get it. Let me look back at my number real quick. The vast majority of that state sources for the general fund is QBE. There are some other small state grants that are in there. I believe 224 million of that is my QBE projection based on some numbers that I've gotten from the state for next year.
That's up about how much from the prior?
Oh, gosh. It's up about, I'd say, 15 million from the year before. And, yeah, it incorporates any changes in funding that may have come out of the legislative session, increases in what they're funding us for the state health increase, the TRS increase, as well as any changes in our student population and the way that they're funded by program as well. So
students kind of, that count pretty stable or going down even maybe a little bit?
It is going down. FTE is going down, as we know.
Is it just the state increased 3%, 4%, 5% more each year in what they provide? Is that sort of the bulk of that 15 million, or did you just figure out the magic? Did you have the magic wand this year?
No, I got some numbers from the state before the official ones came out, so that's kind of where I landed on it. But no, I mean, we've been doing a really great job on our weighted staffing, and that even though FTE has declined slightly from year to year, that has really helped us in QBE funding and maximizing those dollars, making sure that we're getting the most we can out of the state QBE program. And so that's a big one there that I think attributes to it. Again, the increased revenue they're giving us to offset the benefit increases that they've put on us is your other big factor there. It's millions of dollars that they're giving us.
I think that's incredible that with not as many students, we've still earned more QBE because our personnel has learned to use the state tools
Sure.
in a very effective way.
Yes.
And so that has certainly worked to our advantage.
It has. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, good job, Mr. Casado, and thank you for you and your department's work. Y'all do a great job on that every day. Something that we really have to keep up with. All right, for the next 4 hours of the meeting, we do have some good pictures for you, though. We won't get too heavy into numbers and all, but we do have some bid results. But at first, let's look at some of the pictures of the building projects. They're looking really good. This is, as this picture shows, it has really cleaned up a good bit at Lakeside High School. We're nearing completion here. You'll see, I guess as we get into the very last building, it might not look like it, but it actually is getting pretty close.
Don't we need to put a portable over there just for old times?
No portables. Okay. This is the look from the back of the building. This is the gym, the multipurpose room and the weight room, locker rooms, entrance for the student entrance at the back of the school. I've got a couple of inside pictures. You can kind of see that going on. This will get transformed pretty quick. With all the steel up and now all the block pretty much in place, things will start moving pretty quick on the inside.
That is huge.
Yep, it's kind of another picture. You can see the track that goes around the gym. You'll see, as we come in, it's a top load, so patrons and students won't go in the bottom where the floor, the basketball floor is. They'll go in from the top and then come down, and that'll be kind of a game changer there. And it will allow us to get all of our students in during their PE sessions during the day, and a lot of activities in the afternoons. Evans High School, again, looking pretty good. We're about to get the CO, I think, on the Performing Arts Center in the next few days. The rest of it will come along in the next couple of weeks. The school will be moving into these areas. As you know, we're doing some very large renovations on the inside of the school over the summer. So this is the entrance to the Performing Arts Center. It was in there just 2 days ago. Absolutely beautiful. Really excited to get that up and running next school year. This is the gym. Again, this will be up and running in the center. The new entrance to this area to the left, the locker rooms behind the gym, and then the multi-purpose room and the weight room on the right side. This is the entrance as you go in. You'll see it's a good bit different from the last time. We saw some pictures. Nice woodwork in there. This is looking from the front entrance at Cox through the back doors, and then to orient you through those back doors, you'll see those columns to the right. That's where the new cafeteria is that I'll show you in just a minute. Here's their gym. It's going to look similar to, although the colors will be different, to what you saw Lakeside was working on, but this is really turning out nice. Cliff, is that you standing down there?
It is.
Yeah, you got the picture. Yeah, no, he does some good pictures.
Yeah.
Cliff helps us take care of all these pictures before the board meeting, and you do a really good job.
So Dr. Flint, where do they come in?
Go back on that. So in this case, we're looking out onto Cox Road.
Okay.
And so on the right side will be, to us as we're looking at this picture, will be the entrance. There'll be stairs and an elevator in that area. The doors will be closed to the actual gym. Everybody will be directed to the top or take the elevator to the top. Concessions are at the top. And then they'll go around that track area and then file down into the bleachers from there. On the left-hand side, mechanical rooms are up top, and the locker rooms are in between the gym and the multipurpose room and the weight room. This is the new cafeteria and serving lines. You'll see it looks fairly similar, although a little bit different format, but to what we have over at Lakeside. Excuse me. The new classroom wing is down that hallway to the right. There's also a hallway just behind us down to the right that encompasses all the new classrooms in between the kitchen and the multipurpose room. And Harlem High School.
Can I jump in real quick, Dr. Flint? Sorry, before we move on from Evans, what's the latest for what we're using that land across the road for? Is that still tennis courts?
No, tennis courts are actually going to be, if you look out these windows in the original plan, this is where they were located. You can almost see the poles going up there. That's where the tennis courts are going to go, and we're working.
Oh, I was going to say, can you go back? I'm still looking.
Yeah, they're in earlier slides.
It was like, I think they're blue, or they
Well,
blue courts?
Keep going.
Yeah, let's.
Again.
You see them over the top?
Yeah,
there
you
they
could
were.
see
Go
them a
back.
little bit there. Go back one more. There you go. There, that's a great.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So what are we using that land for now?
So on the left side, what we're doing right now, and we haven't put it out, but actually had a conversation this morning. We've had engineering looking at that for the field that we discussed.
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to bring back a recommendation to y'all to put a field. It won't be quite the full size, but it'll still be usable as a full field with a fence around it.
Field for which?
It'll be a multipurpose field.
Just a practice?
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll
okay.
be practice. It won't be used for games because we can't quite get, through the engineering we've been working on, the full scale field there, but it still will be very helpful. The other area, their practice field is right behind the tennis courts right now. If you look at closer to us and closer to the baseball field, all that area is a setup area for the construction company. And that, when they leave, that will be turned back into additional field there. So that's actually a pretty large space. And so if we end up having both of those and across the street, they'll actually have a good bit. There'll be a good bit of practice field.
How many tennis courts?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
Tennis courts?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Where are we? Harlem High School. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Where are we? Harlem High School. A lot of site work going on out here, but at the same time, they've taken down the front entrance, but this is kind of the overall picture there. The fields, as you see them, are going to need to be moved away from the building to the back where they've cleared and leveled some of that area. You'll also see a number of the drainage areas are now covered up and they're underground detention ponds, and the parking has been moved up closer to the road, and all the trees that were there are gone.
They're not going to lose any of their parking, are they, at Harlem?
Well, we're moving the parking right now, so what we're closing down, we're opening up new parking, and so it's being shifted around. But yes, they're not going to lose any. They're actually going to gain a little bit.
I was going to say, that's what it looks like.
We're actually going to use a lot of this space.
Okay.
And so this is the front of the school. You'll see the new addition just to the left there. We just took down all the front, and the new front entrance is now to the left of the school for the rest of this school year, and they're going to start. You can see they're starting to grade for the addition that'll be taking place right there, connecting those buildings.
Dr. Clint, back up one slide, please, sir. All right, over to the far right, behind the football field. What is that rectangle?
Practice field.
Okay. Cool.
And where is their second gym going?
Let's see, the second gym will be going to the right of the building, to the back of the right of the building, right?
In the performing.
Keep me honest here, Penny. I've been talking a lot today, but if I say something wrong, but I think it's right to the back, to the right of the current gym.
Okay. And Performing Arts Center
Is to the front on that same side, on the right side of the school, at the front of the school, right? And then the new entrance at the front, and that will connect the new addition to the old building. And as you know, it's about a 4 or 5 foot difference in there. So that's going to help with all that height difference at the two buildings.
We're going to look at rerouting traffic, kind of like Riverside Middle with the changes here, like maybe one way in, one way out on campus?
They've been working on that. Ms. Jackson, where are you right now with the adjustments? The ones so far have gone really well.
Yes, right now, we kept the parent line and car line going in the same way. Next year, though, when we start school, we're going to have to move the buses, because the buses currently go to the right side between the building and the parking lot. They're also going to go up in the front with the car line. The car line will go to the left, the buses will go to the right, but it doesn't look like it now, but that front parking lot will be finished to where they can take a right, make a circle, and then go out. So they'll, everything will be that way, but yes, we will have to, when it's all said and done, I know the county has some ideas on what they're doing with 221 in general, so we'll, by the time this is finished, wait and see what that's going to look like. But we will definitely have one way in and one way out to navigate buses and car line come August of next year.
Thank you.
So just up close pictures. We've talked about this one. Just kind of seeing some of the site work going on there, and new parking at the front. They really got that done pretty fast, a lot faster than we thought. Okay, we'll move on to bid results, and I've got a couple of these that we need to get through. On March 29th, the Columbia County School District solicited sealed competitive bids for furniture for Lewiston Elementary, Riverside Elementary, Riverside Middle, Evans High, and Lakeside High Schools. The solicitation was sent to more than 15 vendors and posted on the Columbia County School District website and the Georgia Procurement Registry website. Bids were received from the companies that are listed before you. At this time, we recommend CWC for first aid cots, kindergarten classroom sets, lecterns, and various storage racks in the amount of $169,316.52. Georgia Specialty Equipment for classroom furniture, administrative office furniture, and folding chair and carts in the amount of $1,868,745.28. And Wegner for choral risers, choral chairs and carts, music stands and carts, and conductor stands and podiums in the amount of $106,106.30 for a total bid result of $2,144,168.10. We recommend approval at this time.
10 cents.
It came in.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
What's the funding source for this?
The Evans High School and the Lakeside High School are the building program, and Lewiston, all the others are East Blossom.
So building program East Bloss, which 22 to 27, or which East Bloss?
So the two high schools are within the project estimates that are already established. So
Okay.
those are 22, 27, I believe. And then some of these other schools will be in some of the remaining East Bloss from the last cycle is what we'll be using for that as we finish up that.
Okay, thank you.
Any local bids on this?
We put it out, I mean, by law, we put it out to everybody, and we have to take the low bid.
Did we receive
Unless
local
there's a
bids?
different-
I believe we did, yes. We received local bids. These are the ones that offer the best product at the best price, so.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, bid is accepted, motion is approved.
On February 26th, the Columbia County School District solicited sealed competitive bids for video management system replacements to support servers that hold video across the districts at 23 schools. The solicitation was sent to all that we discussed in the last bid. Bids were received from the following companies that you can see before you. We recommend the low bidder, Convergent, in the amount of $607,558.65. This amount includes a 5-year warranty. We recommend approval at this time, Mr. Chairman.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do have a question, because this is so much money. Is this a state-required upgrade, or is this a district-level decision?
Is required, as we get new cameras, the cameras are requiring different types of storage, and we did anticipate this, but I think Mr. Van Meter went and did an analysis, and that's why you're not seeing the total number of schools, but the number that we have, yeah.
So we could have purchased, with the NVR, we could have purchased them directly from the NVR company. It was cheaper to go this route, buy them separately.
So this is one of those where the state says you must upgrade and then we pay for it?
Plus the ones we have are over 5 years old, so they're going to die.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Do we anticipate any additional costs in the near future? Additional replacement of the devices or?
Software licensing that will go along with it. Again, it was cheaper to go separate
Okay.
than together.
And when will the other cameras need to be replaced?
Just over time, we keep them until they're obsolete. We got cameras that are 15 years old.
Unless the state requires us to get rid of the certain
Well,
ones.
that's certain ones, the high
That-
vision cameras were, both a federal and a state requirement to get rid of those. But we have some old access cameras out that are fine. I mean, they're old, but they're out in watching the Appleton compound.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, that's approved.
On March 4th, the Columbia County School District solicited sealed competitive bids for weight room equipment and installation for Lakeside and Evans High Schools. Proposals were received from 10 vendors prior to the March 31st bid closing. Proposals were scored based on pricing, value add, previous work, adherence to the RFP requirement, and quality. Based on the results of the scoring matrix, we recommend Dynabody LLC in the amount of $211,547.48. Recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Were these both also included in the EHS and LHS project amounts for the SPOS sheets?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, if there are no other questions, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, the bid is approved.
On April 14th, the bid opening for the fire alarm replacement systems took place. Bid results for Lakeside Middle and Riverside Middle Schools are listed before you. We recommend approval of the bid results for the fire alarm replacement system to the low bidder, Ireland Electric, in the amount of $672,222.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Now, Ireland is local, isn't it? Okay.
You currently use them? Yes? Solely?
Any other questions?
Is this also eSPOS or is this general fund?
It is eSPOS, yes.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, that bid is approved.
I'm going to ask Ms. Jackson to cover the renaming of a facility. Thank you for your work on this, Ms. Jackson.
Okay, the facility that was once Greenfield Industries and is currently known to most of us now as the Support Complex houses several departments to include technology, transportation, the Junior Achievement Center, and it is a primary location for teacher and staff training. For this reason, we would like to name this facility the Instructional Support Complex so that it will reflect the primary focus and use of this facility, which is to support instruction and those who provide it. So we're just asking that we could name that the Instructional Support Complex instead of just Support Complex.
Did you use AI to come up with that name, or did you come up with yourself?
I actually,
Did y'all
that
have
was
a
not-
team, or did y'all
We
decide?
did.
Mr. Chairman, we recommend approval.
Oh, you would like a motion?
Yep.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Any discussion? I thought you were going to say the David Deacle instructionals, but that's okay.
I'm the
That's
only one
okay.
who has a school named after them.
Oh, really?
Baker Place.
Oh, yeah, Baker Place. Oh, well, all in favor of the any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Okay, the ISC it is.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to superintendent reports. April is recognized as the month of the military child, and the pinnacle of this month-long recognition came on Purple Up Day, when we wear purple to show support for all of our military-connected students. The week of April 15th, schools across the district participated by wearing the color purple, shared messages of thanks, and hosted special events, and a whole lot more. We have a large population of military-connected families, and we look forward to this opportunity to recognize the resilience and perseverance of these special students. Thanks to all of our military servicemen and women, and this month we honor and celebrate their brave children. Last Thursday, middle schools hosted Rising Sixth Grade Parent and Student Night. Students and their parents were able to visit their zoned middle school to learn how to make the most of their experience. Special thanks to all of our staff and the current middle school students who helped to provide a warm welcome for these incoming students and their families. It's the final countdown to the second annual Arts at the Plaza event happening this Saturday at the Columbia County Performing Arts Center. Our students and staff have been working hard all year long to prepare to showcase all of the wonderful talent across our district in all genres of fine arts. Tickets are available for just $8 for the day-long event. Special thanks to all of our sponsors, community partners for their ongoing support, and to all of the outstanding fine arts teachers and staff who've worked to help make this event such a success. We look forward to bringing you an update at our next meeting, and in the meantime, you can view a digital program on our website if you're interested, and I would recommend going, if not for the whole day, at least for a portion of it. It is absolutely fantastic. I'd love to see you out there with us. The rest of the items on the agenda are dates of events. If you have any questions, let us know. But at this time, Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. Next on our agenda this evening, we have 4 speakers who have requested public participation. Each speaker will be allowed up to 3 minutes to address the board. Will you be our timekeeper? Okay. As stated in Board Policy BCBI, we ask that you provide your intended comments while refraining from any derogatory remarks. We also ask that our audience show proper decorum by listening respectfully and avoiding any actions or comments that may distract from the speaker's time and remarks. First speaker who is signed up is Ms. Priscilla Bentz. Is Ms. Bentz here? Okay. Our next speaker will be Ms. Christina Kareen. This podium right over here, ma'am. Ms. Green, before we get started, I just want to confirm you received a copy of the public participation rules.
I don't believe so.
Well, one of the rules states that participants will not be allowed to disclose any information that personally identifies students or employees of the Columbia County School District.
I'm aware of that, yes.
Can you adhere to that? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Then we'll begin.
Okay, so my name is Christina Carino, and I just have basically a couple of questions. I know one of them can be answered by going through the formal request, but number one, I'd like to know how many formal complaints have been filed against the Columbia County Board of Education with the Georgia Department of Education. Then the second one is, over the past 2 school years, how many lawsuits involving the Columbia County Board of Education have either gone to court or been settled out of court? And the third question I have is, of those cases, how many involved special education department? Those are my questions.
And we don't, that's not
I know.
how we conduct public participation.
Right, I
You're not going to
understand
answer
that.
those questions.
No, I know you're not going to understand that,
Okay.
answer them right now, but I would like it to be made public knowledge.
Okay. You have about 2 more minutes.
I mean, that's basically it. I just want to know at what point does the cost of legal fees and litigation outweigh the cost of proactively meeting the needs of these students that are in special education and ensuring the compliance from the start. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next participant who signed up is Ms. Janet Duggan.
Good evening. I'm just going to kind of change up from what I had planned on talking about with the budget presentation. I just have a couple of questions. I understand you won't be answering them directly this evening, but I'll follow up with an email and would like some answers out of curiosity. Regarding the administrative expense ratio that is currently very low, which is a positive thing, I'm just curious. I know that I had just been in communication with the district, and I'm aware like there's a special ed consultant, and I'm aware there's other consultants, and I'm just curious, do those consultant salaries or benefits or the contract amounts play a role in that administrative cost? In other words, are they included in that cost, or are they separated out? And if they're separated out, where are they included in the budget? And maybe a percentage or a ratio of kind of what those costs are. The other question I had was, I saw for the first time that I've ever seen that there's a dollar amount that's being looked at or being considered to be transferred from the general fund to the building program. I think it was 20 million. Does the district have an itemized list of expenses that you would like to be seeing that those dollars are being used for? And will that information be provided to the public and to the board before they're expected to vote on that? And then lastly, I'd like to express my concern regarding the timeliness of receiving results for open records requests. I've shared with some of those in the district that, for me personally, I request open records requests because I find that this forum is not as transparent as it could be, and that seems to be the way to get information when answers are not received. So that is, the primary reason why I've done them. And I did 2 on April the 1st of 2026. That's 16 business days ago. ORR 26118 and ORR 26119. They were in regard to the special ed department, and I have not received a response. Now, we may argue or disagree. I believe the law states that a response should be given in 3 days, not necessarily the records, but if the records cannot be provided in 3 days, that there's a response as to why for the delay. Delays happen, I totally understand that, but there's been silence for 16 days. And certainly, your page says that you'll respond within 2 weeks. And 2 weeks time frame, I'm assuming, is 14 days or 10 business days, and you're well past that. So I'm just requesting Chairman Deacle, Board, Dr. Flint, for you to facilitate the response and provision of those open record requests. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jessica Fisher.
Good evening, Board. I hope everybody had a great spring break. Thank you, Mrs. Teasley, for asking that question earlier. I hope that puts it to rest and that everybody's on the same page when it comes to coding incidents. When it comes to budgeting, I would like you to know that your teachers and staff, this is what is on the request list when you're thinking about budgeting meetings coming up. They would like basic school supplies, pencils, paper. They track our copy numbers, they push digital, but we don't have one-on-one computers. They would prefer worksheets since kids are messing around on the computers when they do get them. Actual textbooks. They would like more funding for their Kleenex in the classrooms. A lot of them requested smaller class size. They said that they know that it costs a lot of funding, but they really believe in that. One of them asked for a better budgeting for music and arts in their schools. Substitutes say that they could use a really good pay raise. High school classes that aren't 28 deep. Para pay, bus driver pay. Special education, they're saying they would like to make the playgrounds more accessible, and when you do that, they want to have lifts. Right now, these paras are lifting children upwards of 100+ pounds to try to get them onto the playground equipment. We don't even expect nurses to do that, so how do we expect paras to do that? Again, the smaller class sizes, pay. Personal days not come out of sick days. They should be separate. Relevant training. They would like their protected planning time. Less meetings so we can plan. Less time filling out mindless spreadsheets where we're just transferring the data that is already provided. We need more support with the students struggling academically and with behavior. More personal responsibility for children. Not giving them zeros when they turn nothing in instead of 60s. We only get $200 for supplies in our classroom. If you teach 80+ students, that is barely scratching the surface. Parapay, custodian, bus drivers. Kleenex, seriously. Pay raises for paras, bus drivers, etc. Reliable working computers when we have access to them. Bereavement leave, less testing, smaller class sizes, more custodians. Thank you. Have a good night.
That concludes our public participation this evening. This time, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session. Do we need executive?
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. I don't think we need executive session.
We need to approve their payroll. We can do that here, right?
Okay, then at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the personnel sheet.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none. Personnel sheet is approved. If there's no further business, I'll entertain a
So
motion
moved.
to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor of adjournment?
You want a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, raise your right hand, please. Any opposed? Anyone? Anyone?
Oh, nope, we're good.
All right, we're adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank y'all.